cooking up a gooey chocolate brownie cake. Absolutely mouth-watering and moreish. So any chocoholics out there, you'll love it. Now it's so easy to do because all you do is get a pan, melt some butter, sugar, chocolate, bit of golden syrup. Once it's all melted, add a couple of eggs, a little bit of flour, cocoa powder and vanilla extract. Get them all mixed up, put it into a baking trim, pop it in the oven, half an hour later. Oh, it's just delicious. Now I'm just going to go through the ingredients. These are the ingredients that are going to go in the pan and sort of melt together, if you like. So we've got some butter, 100 grams. Then we've got some light muscovado sugar, 125 grams of that. 125 grams of caster sugar. Then I've got some chocolate. Now I'm going to use 1.5 bars. So in total there's 150 grams of chocolate. I'm going to use dark chocolate. Try and get chocolate between 50 and 70%. If you prefer sort of plain chocolate, you know, substitute it for what you want. But I'm going to use dark chocolate on mine. Then we've got some golden syrup, and I'm going to use 3 teaspoons of golden syrup. If you haven't got golden syrup, you could use honey instead. So that's all the ingredients that are going to go in the pan and sort of, you know, melt together. Then we're going to add 2 eggs, and I'm just going to beat those to get those a little bit frothy. So 2 eggs. Then we've got some plain flour. Now I've actually got 100 grams of plain flour. Then we're going to use 6 teaspoons of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and half a teaspoon of baking powder, like bicarbonate of soda, so half a teaspoon. So now we've gone through the ingredients, what I'm going to do is get myself a pan, put it on a low heat, and we're just going to add the butter, the sugar, the chocolate and the golden syrup and get it all melted. So I've got my pan there and I've got all my ingredients laid out. So what I'm going to do is switch the pan onto a low heat, start with the butter, add the sugar, the golden syrup and the chocolate. Just let them all melt together nice and slowly. So don't do it on a high heat, very low heat. So I'm just going to switch the gas on, and as I say, I've turned it right down low. Then I'm going to add the butter. Now obviously I'm only using this smaller piece of butter, I've got 100 grams of that. So just pop that in. And then really we could just put all the sugar in there. Then I'm going to put the golden syrup. Now I've got my teaspoon, but I'm not actually going to measure it out, I'm just going to guess it. So it's about 3 teaspoons, so let's see if we can get that out of there. There you go, it's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to give that a quick stir, and then we're going to add the chocolate. So just let it melt a little bit more, and then we can start breaking the chocolate down and add that. Now to give this a proper stir, I'm just going to grab the handle, turn it round. So I'm going to just get this all nicely melted. Now I'm also going to grab my chocolate. Just try and break it down into bits. So I'm going to use about 1.5 bars of chocolate. So I'm just going to put the rest of that in. There you go, 1.5 bars. Just give it a very gentle stir, and once it's sort of, you know, the lumps have gone and it's all kind of mixed together, then we can just take it off the heat and we'll get on with the eggs. So just give it a stir until it's lump free really. So I've been stirring this chocolatey mixture only for a minute or two, and it's all now nice and lump free, so ready to go. So I'm just going to take that off the heat, and then we're going to start beating the eggs and adding all the rest of the mixture into this pan. So I've got myself a bowl, and I'm just going to crack 2 eggs. Try not to get any shell in there. Again. Same with the other one. You can either use a fork, or I'm going to use my little sort of hand whisk here, just to try and make it a bit frothy really, get it all well mixed up. So there you go, all nice and frothy. So I'm just going to take the eggs away. I'm just going to bring that sort of chocolatey mixture in front of us. Whoa, look at that, whoa, looks good. Now, we can now start adding all the other ingredients like the flour, the cocoa powder, vanilla extract, the bicarbonate of soda and the eggs. So I'll start with this cocoa powder. Next, straight in with the flour. I'm not going to sieve it or anything. We've got that bicarbonate of soda, helps it to rise a little bit. And then we've got the vanilla extract. Now I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of that, so let's just use a teaspoon. Got one at hand. There you go. I'm just going to just quickly give this a bit of a mix, and then we can put the eggs in there. Let's do it so you can see it. Just going to pour the eggs in. Just get that nicely mixed up, and then we can get our baking tin, grease it up, a little bit of butter, and then we can just pour this all in. So it's really simple to do. Oh, it's smelling like a chocolatey brownie already. Whoa. There you go. I think we're done now. All mixed up, looking good. Now I'm just going to move the pan out of the way for a minute. I'm just going to bring the baking tin. Now I've chosen to use this one which has got high sides, not for any reason, it's just the bottom comes out of this, so once we finish making it I can ease the bottom out. It just makes it easier to transfer on a plate. But what I'd say is any baking tray roughly about 20 centimetres. Round one's good, but you know, if you haven't got round, put it in a square one if you want. Now what I'm going to do with this baking tin, I've actually cut out a circle of parchment paper, like greaseproof paper. Now I don't want this to stick at all, so I'm just going to put it right around the edges, around the sides, just to make sure it's everywhere. And then I'm going to put me paper in there, and I'm just going to give that a going over as well. Let's just move that paper across. That's it. So just make sure there's plenty everywhere really. Look at that, ready to go. So now we've got the tin all sort of greased up with some butter. I'm just now going to pour this in. So just scoop that in really. Try and get everything in there. And then what we're going to do is to put it into a preheated oven. So I'll switch my oven on just to get it a bit preheated. I'm just going to scrape the last bits out and put that in. There you go. I've got as much as I can out. There you go. It's all ready to go. I'm just going to wait for my oven to get preheated and then we can put it straight in. Now temperature wise, we're going to put it in the oven 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit, gas mark 4. So I'm waiting for my oven to get preheated. Now I'm just going to pop this into the oven, and I'm actually going to put it on a baking tray, only because it makes it easier to get out later on. So leave it there, and I'd say cook it for about 25-30 minutes. So I've been cooking the cake for 30 minutes, so time to pull it out. Now during the time I was cooking, I never opened the door once, because when you're doing cakes and things, you don't really want to be opening the oven door. So I left mine the whole time, 30 minutes. So I'm going to pull it out, and then we're going to place it on the table. Oh, I've just got to show you that. That looks absolutely beautiful. Let's put it on the table, have a good look at it. So I've just taken that cake out of the oven. Look at that. Now inside there is going to be a really nice gooey mixture. It's going to be delicious. Now we've got to have a little bit of patience because I just want to wait for another 30 minutes, so another half an hour. Just let it all cool down, and then we'll come back, take the side of the tin off, slide it on a plate, serve it up and try some. So I've left my cake for about half an hour just to cool down a little bit. Now if your one's kind of sagged a little bit in the middle, don't worry, it will still taste delicious. Now what I'm going to do is just pan out a little bit so we've got a slightly bigger view, and then I'm just going to lift the cake out of the cake tin, and this is where it can all go wrong. So let's be careful, lift it out, put it onto a plate. And what you want to do is just, to start with, push it from the bottom, pop it up, and then try and put your hands around it. Right. Look at that. That looks nice. I must admit, that looks nice. So I'm just going to put that on a plate. So let's just cut a piece really. Oh, it feels nice and soft in the middle. I'm just going to take a little bit of here. See, it's nice and gooey and soft in the middle. And it should be a nice chewy, but a nice way on the outside. So let's just put it on the plate and serve it up with some raspberries and ice cream. Now I'm just going to add some raspberries with mine. Just raspberries, wash them. Really nice though. I'm just going to put a couple of scoops of ice cream. Again. Same on that side. Oh, it's looking nice, looking nice. And then finally, if you really want to top it up, obviously you can have a little bit of cream. I'm going to use a bit of creme fraiche. The full Monty. Beautiful looking, delicious tasting, I can assure you. So let's chuck in and try it out. So I'm just going to cut a little bit here. Let's go straight in. Oh, you can see the gooey, it's kind of just hanging off there. Let me just bring that into view. Oh, that looks really good. Let me just try this. That is chocolate heaven. Oh, it's so nice because it sticks all the roof of the mouth and inside the mouth. It's just chocolate everywhere. Oh, it's just a chocolate delight. That is really, really delicious. I definitely recommend you try that. Now obviously we can tuck in with the rest of it. Try a little bit of the raspberries maybe, bit of the ice cream. Let's get stuck in there. Actually, I'm going to pull a bit of that out as well. And I'm sure that's going to be a real nice combination together. It's lovely with the raspberries. I know you enjoy this. Whether you're having this for a birthday, Christmas Day, any day, it's just delicious and worth making. Just before I leave you, it's the next day. Now I put mine in the fridge overnight, so there it is. It's not so gooey now, so if you prefer not to have a really gooey one, just put it in the fridge and it will harden up just right. Now let's just cut a piece of this. Look at that. Oh, that looks good. I'm just going to try a bit. It's irresistible. Oh. Different to yesterday. A little bit firmer, but oh, it really tastes like a brownie. A really nice brownie. Go and make them. You'll love them. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.